We begin at the National Assembly, where the President Bola Tinubu has presented the 2024 budget to the National Assembly. The 2024 budget, tagged Renewed Hope Budget, is estimated at 27.5 trillion naira, and it is 1.5 trillion naira higher than the initial 26 trillion naira earlier approved by the Federal Executive Council before the passage of the medium-term framework and fiscal policy document by the National Assembly. The 2024 budget reviewed the crude oil benchmark to $77.96 per barrel and 750 naira to the dollar exchange rate. President Tinubu, in his presentation, appealed to the National Assembly to pass the budget before the 1st of January 2024.
In swearing in my cabinet and reflecting on the unique challenges facing us, I invited the ministers to imagine that we are attempting to draw water from a dry well. Today, I stand before you to present our budget of renewed hope, a budget which will go further than ever before. The 2024 appropriation has been themed Budget of Renewed Hope.
And earlier we told you that the President Bola Tinubu has presented the 2024 budget to the National Assembly today. The 2024 budget reviewed the crude oil benchmark to $77.96 per barrel and 750 naira to the dollar exchange rate. Well, for more on this, I have our correspondent, our National Assembly correspondent, Joke Adisa, joining me to give us an update on today's budget presentation. Good to have you join us at this time. We see that the President has appealed to the National Assembly to make sure they pass the bill in a few days. Talk to us about the highlights of today's presentation.
Well, thank you. From what we saw today, it's indeed a memorable day, not only for members of the National Assembly, but also Nigerians as a whole, knowing fully well that it is the maiden presentation of budget estimates that the Bola Tinubu administration will be doing. And so it was indeed a homecoming, like Mr. President also alluded to. Now, the basic highlights were some of what we have said, and the 2024 projected budget has a non-debt expenditure of 9.25 trillion naira. I also talk about debt servicing of 8.25 trillion naira and a capital expenditure of 9.7 trillion naira with a projected revenue of 9.1 trillion naira. These are the expectations, these are the highlights of this budget, and Mr. President is hopeful as he tags these particular fiscal documents. As he tags these fiscal documents, the budget of renewed hope, and I'm sure many Nigerians are indeed hopeful to see what it will erode in months ahead. But one basic thing that the Mr. President also say is the need for public-private partnership in view of the limited resources with the government. The next step now is to engage in public-private partnership so that the private sector can also be included, so that the much-needed funds will be available to run the budget. And besides, he also prioritized defense and internal security, looking at the challenges that have arisen security-wise in the last years. Mr. President is hopeful that his target this time is to overhaul the security architecture to ensure that Nigeria, the lives are safer and properties are also safe. So these are...
All right, Joke. Apart from... If you can hear me, apart from his emphasis on public-private partnership, we also know that the President spoke about inflation, that it is expected to moderate between 10 and 18% in the life of his administration. Talk to us about how feasible this is, looking at the current economic situation in Nigeria.
Well, to the extent that the government is ready to hit the ground running, and with what Mr. President has indeed highlighted, I'm sure we are talking to a number of lawmakers, and they are also hopeful that this is realizable. It is feasible. With me is one of the members of the National Assembly, Honorable.
Okay, my name is Joseph Bassi. I speak for the people of Bakassi from Cross River State.
Okay, so tell us, Mr. President has given us a lot of hope and projections. How realistic are some of these projections, as it has to do with inflation?
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Well, first and foremost, I want to say that the Renew Hope budget is actually going to be a renewed hope for Nigerians. And we know what we are passing through. There's high rate of inflation, there's poverty, and everything is very bad for now. But I think, as he rightly said, we are only going to suffer temporarily to enjoy a permanent, future.
Now, he wants the budget passed in 4 weeks. Is it feasible?
Yes. Well, from what we see now, we have to pass the budget in 30 days before the end of the year. But definitely it's possible, but it's going to put more work on us. Like what the Speaker just addressed us now, by tomorrow we are taking the first reading, second reading on Friday. We don't sit on Friday, but we're going to sit on Friday. And on Saturday, the Appropriation Committee will call all the chairmen of committees so that we meet. We are going to work all through. And it's going to be a long process, but everything in life is possible.
Thank you so very much, sir. Yes, we have had it. One of the members has given us an insight into their workload in the next few days. And so they are working to ensure that the budget is signed, is ready by the end of next month, so that Mr. President can sign it and hit the ground running with the 2024 Appropriation Act.
All right, Joke, we'll be looking forward to that. TVC News National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa joining us to give us an update on today's budget presentation. Thank you for your time.